calling me now. And that's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching because you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping, sharing on TikTok. Watch this.
Hold on to your seats because Rihanna just dropped a bombshell on that new Netflix Diddy doc, calling it total fake news and spilling tea on Beyoncé's secret ties to the scandal. You won't believe what she hinted about Queen Bey and Diddy's wild gatherings. We're talking allegations that could rewrite the history of hip-hop's most powerful couples. And the timing couldn't be more explosive. Just days after Sean Combs' The Reckoning hit the platform with 21 Comb at 8 million views in its first week, Rihanna took to social media to dismantle its credibility, but not before pointing out what she claims was the real story left untold. The tangled web between Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé herself. And if that wasn't enough, she didn't just stop at criticism. She went further, suggesting Beyoncé wasn't just a bystander in Diddy's infamous private encounters, but an active participant, even helping organize them. Now, let that sink in for a second.
Beyoncé for sure. I love her. Like, I love Beyoncé. Jay-Z too, I really admire the both.
We've seen celebrity feuds before, but this isn't just another tabloid spat. This is Rihanna, a woman who spent years carefully crafting her public persona, publicly accusing one of the most protected figures in music of being entangled in Diddy's darkest controversies. And she didn't do it quietly. Sources close to the situation say Rihanna's comments weren't just offhand remarks. They were calculated, dropped in a way that ensured the internet would erupt. The documentary executive produced by 50 Cent already laid out a damning case against Diddy. From the federal human trafficking conviction that landed him 50 months in prison to the chilling footage of him ordering his legal team to hire the dirtiest of dirty PR operatives just days before his arrest. But Rihanna's intervention shifts the focus entirely. She's not just calling the doc fake. She's redirecting the spotlight onto Beyoncé, a woman whose every move is dissected by a global fan base that treats her like royalty. And if Rihanna's hints hold even a grain of truth, we're not just talking about infidelity or bad blood. We're talking about a collaboration so explosive it could unravel the carefully stitched narratives of two of music's biggest dynasties.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé.
Level up Beyoncé. Now let's rewind to understand why this matters. The Netflix series already sent shockwaves through the industry, pulling back the curtain on Diddy's alleged decadescent-long pattern of coercion. From the testimony of former associates like Kurt Burrows, who claimed Diddy once slapped his own mother, to the harrowing accounts of women like Cassie Ventura, who described being trapped in a cycle of substance-fueled gatherings orchestrated by the mogul. But here's where Rihanna's comments cut deepest. The documentary, for all its revelations, allegedly sidestepped the connections between Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé. And Rihanna, she's not just an outsider throwing stones. She's a woman who's been linked to Jay-Z herself with rumors of a past romantic entanglement that's fueled speculation for years. Fans have long whispered about tension between her and Beyoncé. And now with this bombshell, the pieces might finally be clicking into place. If Beyoncé was indeed involved in Diddy's private world, as Rihanna suggests, the implications don't just stop at personal betrayal. They extend to Jay-Z's own legacy, his business empire, and the very foundation of the power couple's carefully curated image. But let's not forget the irony here. Rihanna's accusations come at a time when Jay-Z is already facing his own legal storm. Just last year, a civil lawsuit surfaced accusing him and Diddy of being involved in a disturbing incident with a minor at a post-VMA party in 2000. The plaintiff, identified only as Jane Doe, alleged that both men were present during an assault at a private residence, with Jay-Z's team calling the claim stupid and a shameless publicity stunt. Yet, the timing of Rihanna's comments can't be ignored. If there's even a shred of truth to the idea that Beyoncé was entangled in Diddy's world, it raises a terrifying question. How many others in their inner circle were complicit, either by participation or silence? And what does that say about the industry that allowed it to thrive for so long? This morning, rap mogul
Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Rihanna-Beyoncé feud. This isn't new. For years, insiders have claimed the two women have been locked in a Cold War with Jay-Z caught in the middle. Remember the 2016 Grammys when Rihanna's auntie was snubbed in major categories and fans cried foul, suggesting the Academy didn't want her to outshine Beyoncé's Lemonade. Rihanna herself liked to post accusing the Grammys of playing favorites before backtracking and calling for unity among black women. But the damage was done. The tension was palpable. Then there's the title press conference in 2015 where the two reportedly refused to stand next to each other, their handlers scrambling to keep them apart. Photographers captured a single forced smile between them, but behind the scenes, sources say the air was thick with unspoken rivalry. And now, with Rihanna's latest comments, the subtext is impossible to ignore. If Beyoncé was indeed involved with Diddy in the ways Rihanna suggests, could this feud be rooted in something far darker than professional jealousy? Could it be that Rihanna, who's long been rumored to have had her own history with Jay-Z, knows more than she's letting on?
So that's just competitive energy.
Competitiveness. All right, so you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock with him
okay,
like that.
damn. All right, I didn't know what that meant.
Okay.
All right, okay.
All right. I didn't know what that meant. All right. Let's not overlook the timing of the Netflix documentary itself. Released just months after Diddy's conviction, it was always going to be a lightning rod. But 50 Cent, the man behind it, isn't exactly a neutral party. He spent years publicly feuding with Diddy, even mocking him during his trial with near-daily social media jabs. When the doc dropped Diddy's teen fire back, calling it a shameful hit piece built on stolen footage, his mother, Janice Combs, issued a scathing statement denying the film's claims about her abusive parenting, calling them patently false. Yet, despite the pushback, the series has only gained traction with jurors from Diddy's trial even speaking out for the first time, revealing their doubts about key testimonies. One juror admitted they struggled to convict on human trafficking charges because, in their words, domestic violence wasn't one of the charges. Another described Diddy and Cassie's relationship as very, very complicated, hinting at a dynamic that blurred the lines between consent and coercion. And now, with Rihanna's comments, the narrative takes another turn. Because if Beyoncé was indeed part of this world, as Rihanna implies, the question isn't just about what she did. It's about what she knew, when she knew it, and why she never spoke up.
I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
But here's where things get even messier. The documentary already exposed Diddy's alleged obsession with controlling the women in his orbit. From Cassie's testimony about being forced into days-long encounters to the chilling accounts of former assistants like Capricorn Clark, who claimed Diddy once kidnapped her at gunpoint in a bid to harm Cassie's then-boyfriend, Kid Cudi. If Beyoncé was indeed a participant in these gatherings, as Rihanna suggests, it forces us to ask, was she a victim, a willing participant, or something in between? And what does that say about the men who surrounded them? Men like Jay-Z, who've built empires on the backs of these women's silence. Remember, this isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about an entire network of power players who've allegedly turned a blind eye for decades. And let's not forget the financial stakes. Diddy's conviction didn't just land him in prison. It triggered a financial freefall. His legal team is drowning in lawsuits with over 50 civil cases still pending. His empire, once worth billions, is crumbling. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's own business ventures have faced scrutiny. From Tidal's rocky financial history to the whispers about his past associations with figures like R. Kelly.
Jay?
Yeah.
At this point? I would want, why?
Rihanna's claims gain traction. The domino effect could be catastrophic, because if Beyoncé was indeed involved in Diddy's world, what does that mean for Jay-Z's own legal exposure? Remember, the 2000 lawsuit isn't the only one lurking in the shadows. And with Diddy already behind bars, the question isn't just about what he did. It's about who else might be dragged down with him. Now let's talk about the fans, because they're the ones who've turned this into a full-blown wildfire. Social media is already ablaze with theories. From claims that Rihanna's comments are a calculated strike at Beyoncé's reputation to whispers that this is all part of a larger industry cover-up. Some fans are pointing to the 2011 documentary, which tied Diddy's legal troubles to the suspicious passing of a model who allegedly told Jay-Z she was carrying his child. Others are digging up old interviews with Jonathan A., the publicist who admitted to fabricating a story about Rihanna and Jay-Z's affair back in 2005, an affair he claimed was purely a PR stunt to boost her career. But here's the kicker. Hay also revealed that federal agents once questioned him about Jay-Z's alleged involvement with underage individuals, suggesting the rumors might run deeper than anyone realized. And now with Rihanna's comments, the pieces are starting to fit together in ways that feel less like coincidence and more like a pattern.
I was with the girl, and he was asking about her, and then he was asking me stuff like, would you be interested in, like, somebody watching? He was just asking some really, really bugged out questions. And I still have those emails. I still have all that, So, like, that's one of the things that I was going to include in the book. I'm just trying to figure out.
Perhaps the most damning piece of this puzzle is the silence. Beyoncé's team hasn't responded. Jay-Z's camp hasn't issued a statement. Diddy's legal team is too busy fighting for his freedom to engage in another PR battle. And Rihanna, she's letting the speculation speak for itself. Because in a world where image is everything, sometimes the most powerful move isn't what you say, it's what you let others imagine. And right now, the imagination of the public is running wild. So where does this leave us? With more questions than answers. If Rihanna's hints are true, what other secrets are lurking in the shadows of Diddy's empire, ready to explode? And if Beyoncé was indeed entangled in this world, what does that say about the men who enabled it? Men like Jay-Z, who've built their legacies on the idea of black excellence while allegedly turning a blind eye to the darkness beneath. The Netflix documentary was supposed to be the final word on Diddy's downfall. But with Rihanna's comments, the story isn't over. It's only just beginning. And if history has taught us anything, it's that in the world of hip-hop's elite, the truth is always the last thing to surface.
How much do I love this artist right
Oh,
here?
love Beyonce. Down.
Like, what? Everything about her. I've been to every concert. I bought every album. I've been to every concert multiple times. Every special she's done, I've watched it. Every interview, every performance. Love. I was there at Coachella. I love B.
Now, let's peel back the layers. Because if Beyoncé was allegedly Diddy's party accomplice, as Rihanna's comments suggest, insiders believe this could explain Jay-Z's mysterious silence amid the scandals, tying their power couple image to something far more sinister. We're not just talking about a feud between two of music's biggest icons. We're talking about a potential conspiracy of silence, one where the most protected names in entertainment might have turned a blind eye or worse, participated in behaviors that have only now begun to surface. And if that's the case, the implications stretch far beyond personal drama. They strike at the very heart of an industry built on secrets, loyalty, and the kind of influence that can make scandals disappear. Sources claim Beyoncé's involvement went beyond mere attendance at these gatherings, allegedly helping curate the infamous private encounters that became Diddy's signature. If true, this wouldn't just be a betrayal of Jay-Z. It would be a betrayal of the carefully constructed legacy the Carters have spent decades building. Remember, this is a couple who've positioned themselves as the gold standard of black excellence, a power duo whose every move is dissected for its cultural and political weight. But what if that image was, at least in part, a facade? What if the real story behind closed doors was one of complicity, where Beyoncé's role wasn't just as Jay-Z's partner, but as an active participant in a world that's now under federal scrutiny? The documentary may have focused on Diddy's downfall, but Rihanna's comments force us to ask, who else was in the room when the cameras weren't rolling? And here's where the plot thickens. Critics point out this feud isn't just catty drama. It could unravel alliances in the music world that have been protected for decades. Let's not forget that Rihanna's own name has been whispered in connection with Jay-Z, with rumors of a past romantic entanglement that's never been fully confirmed or denied.
So I know that Jay-Z is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch Beyonce with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyonce while Jay.
If there's any truth to those whispers, her latest call-out takes on a whole new layer of significance. Could this be personal? A woman scorned, finally striking back at the couple who allegedly shut her out. Or is it something bigger? A calculated move to expose a system that's allowed men like Diddy and Jay-Z to operate with impunity for years. Either way, the timing is impossible to ignore. With Diddy already behind bars and Jay-Z facing his own legal scrutiny, Rihanna's comments feel less like a random jab and more like a strategic strike at the heart of hip-hop's most powerful dynasty. But let's talk about the patterns because they're impossible to overlook. Imagine if these party secrets include more high-profile names allegedly shielded by wealth and influence. The Netflix documentary already hinted at a broader network of complicity, with former associates like Aubrey O'Day and Rodney Lil. Rod Jones describing a culture where silence was the price of admission. OD, who rose to fame under Diddy's Bad Boy Records, tearfully recounted being pushed out of the industry after refusing his advances. While Lil Rod's lawsuit alleges he was pressured into producing music under exploitative conditions. If Beyoncé was indeed part of this world, as Rihanna suggests, it raises a terrifying question. How many others were complicit, either by participation or by looking the other way? And what does that say about the industry's most powerful players who've built empires on the backs of these unspoken agreements?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact.
Now let's connect the dots to Jay-Z's own legal troubles. The 2000 lawsuit accusing him and Diddy of involvement in a disturbing incident with a minor at a post-VMA party wasn't just a random allegation. It was a bombshell that sent shock waves through the industry. Jay-Z's team dismissed it as stupid, but the timing of Rihanna's comments can't be ignored. If there's even a shred of truth to the idea that Beyoncé was entangled in Diddy's world, it forces us to reconsider Jay-Z's own silence. Why hasn't he spoken out more forcefully against Diddy's alleged crimes? Why hasn't Beyoncé? Could it be that their silence isn't just about loyalty, but about self-preservation? Because if the Carters were indeed part of this world, the fallout wouldn't just be personal. It would be financial, legal, and existential. And let's not overlook the role of the media in all of this. The Netflix documentary was already a lightning rod, with Diddy's team calling it a shameful hit piece built on stolen footage. But Rihanna's intervention shifts the narrative entirely. She's not just calling the doc fake. She's redirecting the spotlight onto Beyoncé, a woman whose every move is dissected by a global fan base that treats her like royalty. And if Rihanna's hints hold even a grain of truth, we're not just talking about infidelity or bad blood. We're talking about a collaboration so explosive it could unravel the carefully stitched narratives of two of music's biggest dynasties. The question isn't just about what Beyoncé did. It's about what she knew when she knew it, and why she never spoke up. But here's where things get even messier. The documentary already exposed Diddy's alleged obsession with controlling the women in his orbit. From Cassie's testimony about being trapped in a cycle of substance-fueled gatherings to the chilling accounts of former assistants like Capricorn Clark, who claimed Diddy once kidnapped her at gunpoint in a bid to harm Cassie's then-boyfriend, Kid.
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
If Beyoncé was indeed a participant in these gatherings, as Rihanna suggests, it forces us to ask, was she a victim, a willing participant, or something in between? And what does that say about the men who surrounded them? Men like Jay-Z, who've built empires on the backs of these women's silence. Remember, this isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about an entire network of power players who've allegedly turned a blind eye for decades. And let's not forget the financial stakes. Diddy's conviction didn't just land him in prison. It triggered a financial freefall. His legal team is drowning in lawsuits with over 50 civil cases still pending. His empire, once worth billions, is crumbling. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's own business ventures have faced scrutiny. From Tidal's rocky financial history to the whispers about his past associations with figures like R. Kelly, If Rihanna's claims gain traction, the domino effect could be catastrophic. Because if Beyoncé was indeed involved in Diddy's world, what does that mean for Jay-Z's own legal exposure? Remember, the 2000 lawsuit isn't the only one lurking in the shadows. And with Diddy already behind bars, the question isn't just about what he did. It's about who else might be dragged down with him.
And we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
As the dust settles on Rihanna's explosive call-out, one thing's clear. If Beyoncé's alleged role in Diddy's world is real, the music industry's glittering facade might crumble. But will the full truth ever surface? Or will powerful forces bury it forever? The pieces are on the table. The players are in position, and the world is watching. So tell us, do you think Beyoncé's silence speaks volumes, or is this just another chapter in hip-hop's endless Game of Thrones? Drop your theories below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because in this story, the next bombshell is always just around the corner. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in the world of fame and power, the truth is the one thing no amount of money can buy.